Number 9, Doug Herring Jr. Number 15, Garrett Williamson. Number 30, Royce White. Number 44.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mile 1 Center for St. John's Edge basketball. The Edge and the London Lightning here in a battle for first place. My name is Steve Power, ladies and gentlemen, and I am joined once again by the professor, Doug Partridge. Doug, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm a pretty big man, and this game is bigger than my belly. It's huge. This is a big one here tonight.
Yes, it is. You got three teams, basically, Halifax, who we saw a couple days ago, St. John's and London, who are all within one game of each other for first place overall, and the two teams tonight are separated by a half game. So these results are really going to determine who has home court for the playoffs.
Last time we saw the London Lightning in town, it was without the services of their big man, Royce White. White in the lineup tonight, and I guess at the beginning of the year, maybe the fans here might have been intimidated by a player of that caliber, but you know what? There's some pretty good guys wearing the white uniforms down there tonight too.
Yeah, and we saw another one last game in Xavier Ford. I mean, he made a really big impact. He had 20 points, 9 boards, player of the game in his first real extended action, and it's going to be interesting to see how they mix him in. English back in the lineup tonight. How do you use Ford? Does he get more minutes than Lee? Does he come off the bench? All of those questions in terms of how they're going to fit that lineup together, and very excited to see Royce White play.
What a great problem to have if you're the coach of the St. John's Edge, Jeff Dunlap. You come off a great effort in the second game against Halifax, a pretty good effort in the first one too, albeit a loss. But you've got to find a way to get the leading scorer in the league into the lineup and not mess things up. Like, that's a pretty good problem to have. What goes through a coach's mind in that scenario?
Yeah, I think now it's trying to figure out. I mean, you're not necessarily thinking about tonight because you're already clinched your playoff berth. Yes, you want to try and win games and get first overall and get home court and all those things. But now you're trying to figure out, okay, exactly what is our lineup going to look like playoff time? Who's going to go in for who? How deep am I going to go? And these games might be a little bit of a test for how that lineup's going to look come playoff time.
And do we read anything into the starting lineup? We see Ryan Reed in the starting lineup tonight. Brandy Glaze is not. It's probably just these guys are moving pieces and they fit so well, but personally I've liked what I've seen from Reed.
Yeah, we talked about it last game a little bit. I think what you're seeing is Reed is being used as a starter because he's pretty disciplined and fundamental in the way he plays. He plays in system for the most part. He does his job. Glaze, a little bit more of a wild card, and when you're going to your bench, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that energy, someone who can, if the game doesn't go the right way early, someone who can pop and just change the way the game goes. And Glaze is more apt to do that as a player.
I want to talk about the contribution of Alex Superman Johnson. Superman found the red cape on Tuesday night in easily his best game of the entire season. How important is a real top quality start from Alex Johnson in the backcourt for the Edge?
Well, I think what you saw more on Wednesday night was how Johnson can be very effective in tandem with Williams. So using them off of one another for a whole game kept both of them fresh. And then at crunch time, you were able to put both of them on the floor at the same time. And that's really hard for teams to match up with. Williams' smarts and shooting ability, Johnson's athleticism and that tremendous pull-up jump shot that he has, and lots in the tank for both at the end of the game.
So tonight, the first time we see Carl English back in the lineup since dropping a paltry 58 points against Kitchener-Waterloo. That was quite an experience indeed. Probably the word on the street, this could be the A team. This could be the A lineup for the St. John's Edge here tonight. Anthony Stover not drawn in. That'll tell you how good this team is. Stover is an unbelievable defender. Let's buckle up, folks. Just about ready for tip-off. Please reach out to me on Twitter. Let us know what you think of the coverage. By all means, we'll get your shout-outs and comments on the air. My Twitter handle is @StevePowerNL. And by all means, love to hear from you. Edge control from the tip-off. Alex Johnson going to be the man to carry the ball. He's going to put it over for Des Lee. Lee, Johnson, Hinglish. And there's Johnson with the first shot of the game. That'll draw iron and miss. As I said, Lee, Johnson, I did say Hinglish too, but that's a little Newfoundland thing for everybody. Carl English, Ryan Reed, and Charles Hinklehoops Hinkle, the men in charge on the floor here to start the game. There's a defensive turnover by Lee, but Hinkle just couldn't get hands on it.
Yeah, they were looking for the 6'10 Bolden on a alley-oop play on the back door, but Lee did a good job to knock the ball away, but couldn't keep possession.
Mo Bolden is a large man in the paint down there. More than likely, Ryan Reed will get the assignment on him. I like the battle inside for the edges advantage there, as Reed is pretty thick. Short jump shot, missed. Grabbed by the edge, and Johnson will take that one up the floor as Doug Herring Jr. couldn't get that one to drop. Here's Johnson. Johnson stops, settling things down, challenged by Bolden. Mismatch on the outside. Johnson's got to move it, and we've got a foul called early on. Bolden's not going to like that call. Big man getting one on the outside for reaching in.
Yeah, he got a little aggressive there. He just needed to kind of try and smother Johnson, move his arms around, and not reach in.
So early on in the game, first minute in, no scoring yet. Let's see which team is going to push the twine through first. Here comes Johnson. Johnson runs to the lane outside for Reed. Reed likes that fadeaway jumper, Doug. We've talked about that a little bit. Sometimes you don't like it a whole lot.
It's not a shot that draws fouls or gets you extra opportunities. It takes you away from rebounding position, but he shot it very effectively in the last game. But if it's not going, it can create problems for you in terms of getting continued offense.
Royce White drives the rim, and he gets the harm as well off Ryan Reed. White wearing a face mask, Doug, it appears. Either that, he's just going incognito for this game. Must be some kind of facial injuries protecting, obviously.
Yeah, I know he's missed a bunch of games this year. Perhaps it was a broken nose at some point in time that took him out of the lineup.
All right, so here we go. English with the ball in hand. Going to kick it out for White at the top. Back for English. English, a little bit of separation there. That shot goes wide. Johnson attempts to save that one out of bounds. Can't get it, and London will take over, and we've seen this time and time again here at Mile 1. The Edge, for whatever reason it may seem, a little bit slow off the mark to start the game.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes them a while to figure out the other team's defensive coverages and where the gaps are.
Here's Herring Jr. on the outside, in for White. White gets some separation yet to put the ball down. He's going to move it across for Bolden. Bolden from way outside, the big man with a little touch there. Can't get it to drop. English double teamed immediately on the outside. English is going to turn it over though, and English fights and gets it back. Good hustle there by Carl English. Inside for Hinkle. Hinkle rejected by Mo Bolden. That ball will go out of town, and the London Lightning defensively, Doug, are dialed in right now.
Yeah, they're a very athletic team. They cover a lot of space. They get to a lot of, and height-wise, they've got some good matchups here for the scorers that St. John's has.
Foul call for the hold there. Looks like that one's going to go against number 44, Ryan Anderson. Anderson, from what I can remember, was not a favorite of the St. John's faithful last time in. Little chuckle from the prof on that one. And a pretty good crowd here on a Saturday night. A lot of snow in the Metro St. John's area this morning. We see Reed come under the basket. Reed puts it up and under and gets the first one to drop. So even with a lot of snow down, we have a lot of people in for tonight's game. Here's Anderson from the outside, out for White. White challenges Reed down low. White goes up and gonna be I'm not quite sure what that was.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because obviously they're running a lot of isolation for White, so they put him on the wing with the ball and move everybody to the other side of the floor and let him go one-on-one against Reed. But in that one, he went at Reed. He created the contact and mishandled the ball, and the referee was behind the play. It was in a poor position really to make that call.
Yeah, normally I'll let you comment on the officiating in that, but I tell you what, folks, that's a pretty tough call. And what I mean by that, and in case anybody's wondering, that's a pretty lousy call. Anyway, not to sugarcoat things. Early in the game, 2-2, White to the line. missed his first one. The Mile 1 faithful, the Boo Birds crawling out from the ceiling, and White will step up and reset and hit number 2. Little faux press thrown at St. John's right off the inbounds. Here's Johnson. Johnson going to put it into the hands of English. English back for Johnson. Johnson kicks it out now for Anderson. Here's English. English wide open for 3, and that's something, I tell you what, the London Lightning not going to want to let that happen too much.
No, Bolden has to give a better effort. He just sat on the screen there, and by that I mean he just sort of died when he hit it and stood still. Gave English the jump shot, and Reed picks up another foul. I think that's going to be his 3rd.
Carl English can knock that shot down in his sleep. And you are right, Ryan Reed picking up another foul, and right now it's the Royce White show here at Mile 1. He's responsible for all the scoring so far for the Edge.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't believe Reed has the foot speed to stay in front of Royce White. I just think that's a really difficult matchup for Reed. I think you're going to have to use a more mobile defender against White.
White comes up empty at the line for the and 1. Tie game here. Early on, a lot of fouls early on. I got to think that's the way it's going to go this whole weekend, Doug. This series is not for the faint of heart.
No, I mean, and we know that from the first time London played here. They played, they got in a little trouble the first game, and then they came back when they played a little bit more physically, and I think you'll see them play fairly physically. Now they're going to get a foul here on English.
English, after being blocked, pushed off, trying to get it away. Mo Bolden bringing the block party to Mile 1 here tonight. That's his 2nd already.
And again, Mo is 6'9", 6'10", and he's guarding guys who are 6'4", 6'5", so he's got a significant height advantage there.
Here come the Lightning. Herring Jr., that one's turned over. Charles Hinkle will pick it up down the floor for English. English stops, pops, fires, draws iron, but Alex Johnson's there for the rebound. Johnson settles down the outside. Bolden right out high on Johnson. Johnson's going to kick it back for Desmond Lee. Lee's shot is going to be short, and Lee got drilled after taking that one. Garrett Williamson with the foul, and that should be 3 shots for Lee, Doug.
Yeah, just not a good play by Williamson. Lee was shooting a fadeaway at about 25 feet. I think you just get your hand up. If you put it in, if he puts it in, you tip your cap. Otherwise, let's get a rebound and get on our horses and run the floor.
Rich Belarus checking in with us on Twitter. Let me know that White never missed any games. Running to with his nose. Got whacked in a road game in Waterloo. Started wearing the mask, but no games missed. Royce White, a tough character, a class competitor. Probably at times it could be argued the best player in the league. Maybe some St. John's Edge fans would like to question that, but you no doubt question the ability of number 30, Royce White.
Yeah, he has a great overall game. He contributes scoring, rebounding. He's very mobile for a 6'8" guy in this league. He plays more like a 3-man than a 5, so it's a very tough matchup for the other bigs in the league.
St. John's take their lead from the foul line. Herring Jr. bringing the ball down the floor. Outside for Bolden. Bolden inside for Williamson. Moves it outside. Back for Bolden. Good ball movement here by London. Bolden's shot's going to come up a little bit short, though. Des Lee will grab it for St. John's. Grandy Glaze wanted that one badly under the basket. Kicked outside for Hinkle now. Nice pass there by Grandy Glaze to Hinkle, and St. John's going inside, outside, and through the hoop. 3-point shot for Hinkle.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's what you like about Glaze, is that ability, as he gets a bad foul there, but he has that ability to see the whole floor, and when he gets the ball in that deep post position and draws attention, he's a very good passer.
From up top here, Doug, I can tell you it's the first time this year I have seen the visiting team come in as animated as I see the London bench. The London bench, every shot, they're up on their feet. Everybody's into the game. We haven't seen that a whole lot at Mile 1.
No, they lost twice here, right? So they came in. Royce White sat out the first game. He was suspended. They lost both matchups, and I think they kind of want to get a win on the road because they've won at home against St. John's. St. John's won here against them. I think each team was looking for that road win, and London still has a chance to get one.
You got to think in the back of the minds of these guys, too. I know we're a long ways from playoffs yet, but all roads to the league championship might go through St. John's or London this year.
Yeah, well, I think they definitely do. These are two. This throw-in Halifax is going to be one of those three teams. I haven't seen another team that has the depth of talent and athleticism that these three teams have. So this is where it's going to go through.
3-point shot draws short there from Herring Jr. St. John's grabbed a rebound. Grandy Glaze is flying out there tonight. He's sprinting down the floor, wants that little put in for the alley-oop. Johnson pulls up, fires. He can't get the drop though. And both teams not that successful so far in the short-range games. Another foul going to be called up, and this is going to go against Glaze. That's 4 fouls to the big man already.
That's just unlucky. Like he was trying to get to the right spot, and as he got behind the player reached to catch the ball and tripped over his foot. So it's his foul. The player tripped, but it's just unluckiness. It wasn't any kind of overt physicality.
So that's 2 fouls each now for Ryan Reed and Grandy Glaze. And with no Anthony Stover in the lineup tonight, that's something Coach Dunlap is going to have to be aware of. Yeah,
you still have Bremprong. You still have your third head of the three-headed monster inside, and Bremprong's played better and better as the year has gone on.
Absolutely. You know something? I was forgetting about Ransford. He's been awesome. I love him. Way to go, Ransford. Here we go. Glaze with the ball. Glaze is going to put it to the floor. Tries to challenge White. Glaze kicks it outside for English. English for 3. In, out. Can't get it. Des Lee, the leapfrog, gets up there. Desmond Lee could jump over Humpty Dumpty's wall, I'm pretty sure of it. He's got fantastic athletic ability. Herring Jr. looking to get it for White. White kicks it to the corner for Bolden. That pass is contested. Bolden underneath the hoop, up and under, and that's a nice athletic move there by Mo Bolden.
Yeah, St. John's is playing with great activity. Again, just unluckiness early. They're really getting the spots and contesting things, tipping passes, but right now those tip passes are always finding their way into London hands.
5:38, St. John's 12, London 10. It's our first time out of the game. We'll be right back. Stick with us here at St. John's Ed Basketball.
The prize was $3,440. Be sure to purchase a ticket for tonight's 50-50 draw. You can take home half the jackpot with the remaining proceeds benefiting the Edge Foundation. Visit a 50-50 representative on the concourse to get your ticket now. St. John's Edge fans, we want you to get active on Twitter. Tweet your seat location to @St. John's Edge with the hashtag #EdgeTweetSeat, and you will have a chance to win. One lucky winner will be picked every game, so get your tweets in now. Now, if you're looking to take home a little souvenir from tonight's game, these things are brand new. We've got them, the Edge official basketballs. If you're into playing 21s, having a little one-on-one game with your friends, you're going to want to get your hands on one of these, and you better see because they're going fast. If you're looking for something a little different, we have these little pop sockets right here. They stick right on the back of your phone. And they're great for taking selfies. Have a great game, everyone.
All right, back from the timeout now. St. John's with a 2-point lead. And I believe it's going to be Edge ball underneath the hoop. Royce White. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying Royce White. I think I'm going to have to stick with White or Royce.
That's why I stick to last names.
Yeah, there you go. White's checked back into the game for the Lightning. For St. John's, we've got Des Lee, Carl English, Grandy Glaze, Charles Hinkle, and Karan Williams. And not hard to tell, Carl English had a week off. He's been putting in a few extra minutes here starting off. Here's Hinkle. Hinkle trying to come around. White's going to get tagged with the foul there. And Charles will take it on the sideline. Going to be a push, so St. John's will maintain possession. Shot clock at 15.
And we're going to see Ford make his first appearance in the game.
Xavier Ford with a fantastic performance on Wednesday in the win over Halifax.
Yeah, I really feel that his presence addresses the one need that St. John's really had, which is that tall, athletic wing that can make some things happen off the dribble. They didn't really have that player, but now in Ford they appear to have found one.
Here comes the inbounds. English tries to spin away. English puts one in the lane for Des Lee. Lee fires. Nice move here by Lee. He looked like he had nowhere to go, made something out of nothing.
Yeah, and he had been struggling for a few games there, but perhaps Ford's presence and the way he played has woken him up a little bit in terms of trying to hold on to his minutes and position on the team, and he's really having a good game here early.
Doug Herring Jr. is stripped of the ball going to the basket. Foul going to be called on Williams. He doesn't like it. See him talking to the official. Official putting his hands up to him. Now Karana's just having a chat. That's the way to do it. Herring Jr. at the line. He'll get the home team bounce on that first shot. Draws his team to within 3. A lot of discussion going on with Williams and Carl. Lays under the basket, inbounds it to Desmond Lee. Lee's going to carry the ball up the floor. Williams telling him to do so. Lee's like, okay, I'll do it. Desmond Lee trying to step around White. He does so. Lee out by the 3-point line, kicks one to the corner for Ford. Ford just inside the 3-point line. Xavier Ford makes his first mark of the game for 2.
Yeah, and if he can consistently knock down an 18 to 20-foot jump shot, that's going to make him awfully difficult to guard.
Speaking of easy, Royce White just made that layup look so easy against Grandy Glaze there. Here's Ford. Xavier Ford spins around White. Immediate impact by Xavier Ford in this one. Coming off the bench for the Edge. That's going to bring a London player up to his feet on the floor. Doug Herring Jr. now. Leaves it to the outside. Kicked over for Williams Jr. Williams Jr. can't get it to fall. Junior to junior, no seniority on that shot. Doesn't go through the hoop. Karan Williams now. Williams outside for Ford. Ford challenging White. Ford charges it under the basket to Grandy Glaze. And Xavier Ford with 2 baskets and a sweet dish there to Grandy Glaze. Grandy will go to the line for the M1.
Yeah, and Royce White is going to have a hard time staying in front of Xavier Ford. His level of athleticism, I think, is just a little bit higher than White's, and you could see on that drive that White just couldn't get there. And I would not be surprised if in crunch time we're looking at Ford, if this game is close, playing the 5 and guarding White and giving them a more athletic overall lineup.
Just with the feet.
Yeah.
Xavier Ford. First look at him was last week, and I tell you what, he is the real deal, folks. You're in the St. John's area, you got to get down to see this team play. These guys are unbelievable. What entertainment here at Mile 1. I'll tell you who's not bad either. That's number 30 for the London Lightning, Royce White. He actually missed a shot there. That's about as rare as a dodo bird sighting. Des Lee waiting for Ford to open up. Lee goes across the other side for Williams. Wally Ellenson up off his feet on the St. John's bench. He's going to get ready to check into this one. Lee, shot clock down to 5. Ford puts it to the floor. Ford, shot, jumper, can't get it. Glaze out of ground, and Grandy Glaze goes flying into the first row. Little bonus for the fans down there. Wally Ellenson checks into the game for Carl English. And Coach, we talked about Ellenson earlier the week. We thought it might have been his best games in the St. John's Edge uniform.
Yeah, he played a really good game, and again, he's starting to settle into some of the things that he can do well and figuring out what maybe stretches his game a little bit.
White thought he was upended at the basket there. Grandy Glaze takes it all the way down for Ellenson. Ellenson jumped. He almost hit his head off the bottom of the basket there. My goodness. He had to duck. If he had to stay straight up, he would have knocked out cold.
Yeah, and Marcus Capers blocked him and then had no idea where the ball was as it was rolling down his back out of bounds.
Wow, that's something you don't see any day. Ransford Brempong checked into the game here now for St. John's. Ellenson puts the ball into the hands of Williams, and this is what I like, Doug, about this St. John's lineup. They have got some serious depth.
Yeah.
Williams kicks one over for Ford. Ford puts it to the floor. Shot clock under 5. Ford hacked underneath. Gets the ball back, though. That's good defense there by Ashton Smith of London. Smith now on the offense. Smith in the corner of the ball, guarded by Ellenson. Kicks it out for White. White in for Williams Jr. Williams Jr. up off the basket, but a charging foul, and Wally Ellenson gets planted, had position, and Williams Jr. not too happy with that call, or maybe he just likes to run really fast back down the floor. Bremprong on the inbounds now. We'll see Des Lee check out of the game, and Johnson comes back in. St. John's going with the 2-point guard set here, Prof.
Yeah, and again, this has been effective for them.
Williams for Johnson. Johnson trying to penetrate. Johnson gets through. Big rebound there by Xavier Ford on the follow-up. And St. John's open up an 8-point lead here in this first quarter. Entertaining quarter of basketball indeed. White on the inside. He's pushed off there by Bremprong, and I got to think, of the 7 St. John's team fouls, I think 6 of them have been against White.
Yeah, and again, he's a tough matchup, but the other thing is he's not a tremendous foul shooter. He shoots about 60% from the floor on the year, so if he gets that deep position on you, sometimes you might take the foul, and if he gets 1 of 2, you come out ahead.
I guess if you're spreading the wealth amongst your big men, as long as no one's getting in trouble, why not?
Yeah.
White from the line made that one look pretty smooth. I like the black mask. I think it looks really cool. But, you know, I'm a bit strange. White 2 for 2 from the line, smooth as butter there. Ball comes in. St. John's looking inbound. A lot of activity, but the referee's hands are up as White is going to check out for the London Lightning. Johnson takes the pass from Bremprong. Johnson double teamed here early on. St. John's need to get it up to half court. They do so, and it's the big man Bremprong that does. London a little too aggressive there. Kirk Williams Jr. commits that foul, and that's going to send St. John's to the line as both teams in the bonus.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Johnson. He saw it, that they brought the double team to him again immediately. He saw it, and he just kind of held the ball away from his body a little bit. Tempted Williams. The minute Williams put his arm out, Johnson just basically ran his arms into Williams' arms and got the foul call.
So Johnson, with 2 minutes exactly remaining on the clock, he'll go to the line. Misses number 1. And you got to think, Doug, the way the fouls have been going here tonight, this free throw line is going to be a big factor in this one.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fouls here, and also depth. Depth is going to be an issue because there's a lot of fouls being called.
Marcus Capers in the game now for London. Bolden going to take a shot from way outside. Bolden a little bit short on that one. Rebounded by Ford. Ford will put it into the hands of Johnson to bring up the floor. Alex Johnson for Bremprong. Bremprong looking to put it back to the point guard Johnson. In for Bremprong. That pass almost got thrown away though. Bremprong gets it. Ford got his man up in the air. Easy basket there for Xavier Ford. Kirk Williams bit like a hungry fish on a hook on that move. Back down the floor, Ryan Anderson answers right away. Big 3-point shot there for London. And this is like a heavyweight tilt here so far. Back and forth, both teams looking for the big knockout punch, not to be found here early on. Bremprong, medium range jumper, and that's sort of the sweet spot for the big fella, Doug. We've seen him have a lot of success with that shot.
Yeah, he likes that 18-foot jump shot.
Here's another foul going to the basket. Ryan Anderson going to get a trip to the foul line. I believe that one's going to go against Xavier Ford. And just having a look here, the foul line, we've got London 6 of 9 so far from the line. St. John's 3 of 6. So going to be after these shots, 17 shots from the foul line in the opening quarter.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 games, we've had some extracurriculars here. We've had some dust-ups from people falling out of bounds, falling over one another at center court, people getting upset, a little bit of a standoff here and there. So I think the refs are just trying to set a tone early to keep that contact under control.
Last minute of this opening quarter, 27-21 in favor of the St. John's Edge. Karan Williams with the ball for the Edge. Over for Johnson. Johnson faked the penetration. Back for Williams. Williams for 3. And he will stroke that one smoothly through the hoop. St. John's up the 30. Big offensive quarter for the Edge. Started off a little bit slow like they normally do, but they have found a rhythm for sure in this last 8 minutes. Anderson outside. Anderson in isolation. Attempts to penetrate. That's blocked. 10 seconds left. Johnson drops it back for Ford. And Ford says it's showtime at mile 1. And that is a big, big dunk for the Edge. Anderson back at the end. Couldn't get the shot up before the buzzer. And that's the way to end a quarter if you're the home team, Doug.
Yeah, we don't like. Ford is a different kind of player than we see in the league. You don't see those quick, explosive hops in a lot of guys. Billy White from Halifax has them, and Ford has them, and you see it there just running the floor in transition. Johnson goes behind his back with a little drop pass. Ford elevates over somebody off 2 feet and just slams it down. He doesn't need to be in transition. I think you're going to see as this guy gets more and more comfortable, he's going to make a lot of phenomenal plays.
Xavier Ford with 10 first quarter points, and the last 2 with authority. After 1, St. John's 32, London 21. You're watching Edge Basketball. We'll be back for the call to second.
Tonight's first half is proudly sponsored by First Choice Haircutters.
Second quarter just about to get underway. A very, very entertaining quarter of basketball here at mile 1. St. John's starting a little slow, but they are certainly firing on all cylinders now. 32-21. Second quarter underway. Ryan Anderson puts the ball into the hands of Marcus Capers. Capers guarded by Hinkle. Over for Bolden. Bolden to the outside, and that foul is going to go against Reed, and that's going to be Reed's third now.
Yeah, again, as much as I like a lot of the things Reed does, guarding people out on the wing is not, it's not his strength.
Yeah, his feet are letting him down there tonight, but let's not forget, Doug, he's a recent acquisition to this team, and he's still finding a way into systems. And I'm not saying he's not in shape, but obviously to get back into game shape after not playing for a while, that's
still an issue for him, and we've seen him fatigue in games, and so that is something he has to get better at.
Bolden drives to the hoop. He got Brempong to bite on that fake, and he ends up driving down Main Street all alone.
Yeah, I think you got to get him off his right hand. You got to make him make plays with his left.
St. John's, English, got a little separation there. That's one of Carl's favorite spots to shoot. Couldn't get it to drop, though. That ball's going to go out of bounds. I got to think that'll still be St. John's ball. Yeah. Although we see him coming back. We got a foul.
We got a foul on Ford.
Xavier Ford picks up the foul. That's unfortunate for the Edge. Here's Anderson. Anderson drives the lane. Offensive rebound there by London. Good work under the boards, though, but Anderson's out of bounds, and St. John's will get back to basketball. St. John's tightening up defensively here tonight.
Yeah, again, I like the last 2 or 3 games, I like what they're doing. They're getting up on the shooters better. They're contesting out there. They're forcing people to play off the dribble, and they're getting better help and rotation behind them.
Here's a missed opportunity there for the Edge. Rebound grabbed by Capers. Capers putting the ball to the floor with some authority. Back for Anderson. Long three-point shot. Good offensive rebound there by London, and I'm not sure how London got such good position there. Here's a steal by Ashton Smith. Smith, immediate impact there. Back-to-back points for number 2.
Yeah, I on the play before that, Johnson simply did not box out. Smith walked into the key. Johnson didn't put a body on him, and Smith scored off the glass.
You can certainly see, Doug, we've seen you talk. You use the word athlete a lot. We're seeing a lot of good athletes in this game.
Yeah.
Here's a big three-point shot from the corner by Ryan Anderson. Anderson's starting to eat up. He's been an edge killer in this season so far. English drives through, and that is a blocking foul all day long there.
Yeah.
And you can see, I'm not sure who's lying on the floor took the foul. I think he's pretty content with it. Looks like
Yeah, I think it's Capers.
Marcus Capers. I think he's okay with blocking Carl like that. That's a pretty hard foul to take. One thing we've learned about Carl English, he is tough.
Yeah.
Very, very tough.
And again, the level of basketball that he's played throughout his career, you know, you're not going to upset him with physical play. You're not going to upset him with contact and a little bit of hold, grab, stepping away type stuff. You're going to have to do something other than that.
Thought it was a great article in the local newspaper here about Carl being such a high-level athlete. I believe they ranked him the number 5 athlete in this province's history. But yet no one from this province really knew who he was till this year. This was his time to come home and play and show everybody. We got a little pushing and shoving below the basket once again. Few discussions down there.
I'd be interested to see the 4 athletes ahead of him.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list. Might be some kid Cleary that won a couple of Stanley Cups there. I don't know, but you know, when you're talking all-time athletes, you make any list like that, buddy. I tell you what, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
But it was a good point, I thought. It's a big chance for Carl, being at home, playing in front of people he hasn't seen since he left Fatima.
Yeah.
From Patrick's School.
And I also think that, you know, because he played in the leagues that he played in, people may underestimate exactly the player and the athlete that he is.
Here's a three-point shot from the corner. That one is good. And checking in on Twitter, John Ellenson wants to hear some more Newfoundland sayings, other things unique to Newfoundland as well. John, I tell you what, buddy, you tune in every week, you will hear a lot of things unique. Some other people will call them something different, but I'll go with you and say they're unique. My partner, the prof, almost chokes on his water sometimes up here in the booth. Here's Ryan Anderson. Anderson in for White. That's a push off, and that will be called. White pushes off. I believe that's Des Lee. Lee went down hard. White is actually questioning the call. Come on, big fella.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not sure that Lee was shoved as hard as the way he felt.
Sold it, sure. Absolutely, I
but
get that.
Once you extend that off arm, that's going to get you. That's going to get you an offensive foul.
I listen. I don't think Desmond was too hurt on the play or anything like that. But I tell you what, that's a pretty easy call, and the officials got it. Here's Glaze now. Glaze with the ball in his hand. Back out for English. English steps around Glaze. English gets that little bit of room there, and that is all Carl needs. When he is on, he is on.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that handoff screen is, Glaze is a master of that, the best in the league. And it really helps St. John's and Carl get a lot of easy buckets.
Royce White with the ball now. White back for Anderson. Anderson tries to kick it back for White. Stolen by English. English out for Hinkle. Hinkle under for Glaze. But Glaze had his hands into the ever-sweet butter before the game. That one just flew through. Tough luck there. Good breakout for St. John's. Timeout called. 8:13 left to go in this opening half. St. John's 41, London 33.
It's time to pucker up and show some love. It's time for the kids.
All right, we are back. The old kiss cam here at Mile 1. Big hit with the fans in between whistles. Checking in on Twitter again, our old buddy Rich Belarus saying that he'd like to see London stop the edge penetration. To which I will say good luck with that one, Rich.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have tried early in the year. We haven't seen a lot of teams have success controlling the edge penetration, particularly Johnson, who's very shifty and very good.
That being said, if there's a team can do it in this league, it is certainly the London Lightning. Very, very big matchup, and there's no way, Doug, I know both teams got a playoff spot clinch and this, that, and the other thing, but there's no way, as a former coach and these athletes, you're not looking at that game on the calendar. You know they're coming. You know that's the who shall.
Yeah, and there's still a lot to play for. Like we said, I mean, London has defended their home court against the Edge. The Edge have defended their home court against London. Home court advantage in that playoff series is going to be gigantic. Winning these games really matters.
Hinkle's going to get a trip to the charity stripe here right now. Charles been a little bit quiet in the last few games for St. John's, and it's one of those things. I know he was fighting the flu and that, but it's also a byproduct. Maybe there's not enough ball for him. Earlier in the year, they depended on Hinkle. They needed Hinkle to have big games. The Edge are a lot better than what they were early on. And
absolutely.
That's not disrespect to Carl. That's just, I think, a simple fact of the game.
Yeah.
Ball gets spread around more. Aaron pass there, and we see, looks like Williams Jr. almost go in and try a piece of the fans' popcorn in the first row. Bodies going everywhere. They might want to move the seats back for the playoffs when these two teams meet. Either that or charge more. Here's Johnson. Johnson in for English. English lost the handle on that one.
I think the ever sweet butter got on the ball,
sir.
not on Glaze's hands, because everybody's throwing it around right now.
Yeah, hot potato. That shot is going to draw short. I love Grandy Glaze getting rebounds. He takes them from anybody. Don't matter if his own team, their team, he wants that ball.
No, he attacks the ball. He reminds me of an old coach that I knew who used to say, grab the round things and throw away the ones with hair.
There you go. I like that one. Herring Jr. off the missed shot there by Des Lee. Jr. got Johnson up in the air. Jr. tried Johnson's move.
Yeah.
Leaping into him. Didn't get the call, but St. John's couldn't grab the rebound. Kick to the outside now. Here comes London. London penetrates to the basket. Can't get it to drop, though. Unfortunate there for the London Lightning. They had good penetration. Couldn't get it to fall. English in the lane. He gets the hoop and the harm. And Carl will go to the line to try to complete the N1. Doug Herring Jr. tagged with the foul. 6:23 left to go here in this second quarter. 44-23, St. John's.
Yeah, and the officials have been very, very consistent about the fouls in the paint. If you're just standing there and there's contact, it's going on to defense. There's been no bones about that. So when the guy drives at you, you've got to be moving your feet.
Here's Carl English from the line. He'll complete the N1. St. John's with their biggest lead of the game now at 12. The London Lightning coming back on offense. Ball kicked in down low. Williams Jr. finds some room. That's a nice little drive by Williams Jr. He just split the sea there like Moses in the ocean. He parted for him, and he just walked in through. Karan Williams out for Grandy Glaze. Glaze looked like he wanted to charge down the middle. Instead, kicks it out for Hinkle. Hinkle couldn't get that one to drop, though, and London will take the ball back down the floor. London Lightning looking to crawl back into this one in the second quarter, into the hands of Royce White now. White trying to get Glaze off him. A foul called out top. And look from up here, Williams was all ball on that, but they say he got his hand on his wrist. So that foul will go against Karan Williams. Xavier Ford checks into the game. Charles Hinkle going to check out. And Doug, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but this St. John's team, and this homestand at least, we've always seen in and out of the lineup. The coach does a great job using these bench, but now I think it's an embarrassment to riches down there. Like, we've got Russell Bird down there. He can't even get into this game.
Yeah, and Bird had good games the last two games.
He's a quality player.
He was settling into his role as a spot-up three-point shooter, an offensive rebounder, and doing a really good job. But like you said, it's hard for him with Ford here now. It's hard for him to find minutes.
This is a very good basketball club. Two good teams battling hard here tonight. White kicks one outside. Wide open look there. Could not get it to fall, though, was Herring Jr., and St. John's will take it back down the floor. Here's English, takes it from Williams. He's going to lay it back to Williams. Coron Williams on the outside. Shot clock down to 10 now. Williams got a double team up top, looking for the mismatch. Kicks it down low. Nice pass there for Glaze. Ford with the rebound. Neither one can get it to drop. Two of the edge players down underneath the basket. And that's going to be an easy attempt there for Royce White. White looking to go to the line for a shooting foul. And
yeah,
he might have a case there.
Williams grabbed him by the hips before he ever initiated a shot. He was still dribbling the ball. So.
And then it would have been a 4-on-1.
Yeah.
He got past. So,
yeah, it was just another unlucky situation. A great pass by Glaze to Lee as a layup. It spins out on him. Ford grabs it, but unfortunately Lee falls into his own player and causes Ford to miss the shot and both players to fall down.
Ball put in under basket. Williams Jr. trying to get a hold of it. Going to be interesting to see what the call is. It is still London ball. London Lightning under the basket, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Big possession here for Lightning, trying to cut this lead back to single digits. Royce White kicks it inside. Good defense there by St. John's. Des Lee comes away with the steal. Lee to Williams. Williams, a long three-point shot, and he just hit that one from somewhere out in St. John's Harbor. That might have had a whale on it going through the hoop. What a shot by Williams. Here comes London back the other way, but St. John's will take 3 for 2 any day of the week.
Yeah, and I like that play. There's a lot of coaches that don't like the point guard dribbling it up and shooting it, but I like it because it forces the defense to come way out and guard the ball near center as opposed to being able to lay back.
There's a steal there by Williams Jr. He's going to come down Main Street and drive it. Good follow-up there on the rebound by London's number 15, Garrett Williamson. He rocks the rim for 2. Williams settling things down. Shot clock coming down to 10 seconds now. Williams takes it back from English. English trying to run a route to get open. Shot clock down to 5. Over for English. English is going to have to put one up under some pressure from the corner. Can't get it to drop though. Oh my goodness. Where did Xavier Ford come from there? Holy cheese and crackers. What a play by Ford.
Anderson wiped out by Glaze on a beautiful block shot.
This game is heating up. Here's Lee. Lee kisses that one in off the hoop. And St. John's have got the rock and roll show going here tonight at mile 1. Timeout, London. St. John's 52, London 39. We'll be back. .327 left to go in the opening half, and Prof, if you're not entertained here tonight, you may need to see a medical professional because there's something wrong with your pulse.
Yeah, I mean, to see that play by Ford, that last one, he just reaches over top of the defense trying to block him out and doesn't tip the ball in, dunks it. That was phenomenal. And then we come right back the other way, and Glaze elevates, blocks Anderson, rebounds the block, pushes the ball himself and finds Lee for a layup.
Royce White with the ball in his hand now. Got Anderson driving. Nothing going there. White's going to leave it into the hands of Edwards. There's a missed shot. Rebound grabbed it by Randy Glaze. Glaze kicks one down the floor for Lee. What an athletic move there by Lee. Falling out of bounds, manages to put the ball back into the hands of Xavier Ford. Hinkle outside for three. That one goes in and out. Lee has the ball knocked off his hands. Good position on the offensive boards there by Des Lee.
Yeah, that little inside screen where Johnson throws the ball to Hinkle, comes and screens his man. Hinkle takes one curl dribble over and shoots the three. They love to run that. I'd like to see them make it. Like, they don't really make that shot, though. That's the problem with it.
That one is as close as you could make it. Actually, literally was in and out. It rolled around. I think it touched net at one point on the inside of the rim. You can see Des Lee showing some good leadership qualities down there, bringing the guys in together, and that's something we've seen emerge on this team too. We've always known English has been the man, the leader, the catalyst, but we've seen some guys like Des Lee who doesn't play what I would call the most minutes for St. John's, but you can see that intangible leadership, that young man has it.
Yeah, and also they're growing together as a team. Remember, they're an expansion team. This is the first year these guys have ever played together, so the process over the year of getting to know one another, getting to understand everybody's game and how they fit together to be a whole, that's all sort of coming together as the year has gone on.
2:45 left to go. St. John's 54, London 39. The Edge firing on all cylinders here tonight. And the Edge is sharp. Just too easy to use phrases with the Edge. It's way too easy. Ball's out of bounds there. That's going to stay into St. John's hands. And Coach Jeff Dunlap is getting a workout tonight with the substitutions. He's keeping it fresh for St. John's, and maybe that's part of the reason for success. They've got lots of juice in the legs.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. You want to keep that gas in the tank for a whole game, and being able to rotate all these bodies lets you do that.
Alex Johnson now with the ball. Johnson on the floor now with Bemprong, Ford, Hinkle, and English. Here's Ford out for English. English turns around inside for Bemprong, and the big man will just gently lay that one off the glass for two. Nice pass there by Carl. Anderson puts it inside for Williams. Back out for Anderson. Anderson over
Anderson
was
very upset with Royce White. He wanted Royce White to come give him the high screen and roll, and White wouldn't come. And Anderson was not happy.
Well, White just parked down with a basket. They gave it to him, and he put it in for two. I guess that's where Royce can say, I told you so. Here's Ford now. Ford trying to put it past Bolden on the floor. Good defense there by Mo Bolden. And he'll grab the rebound for London. Ball in for White. Bemprong up on White. You see White just trying to back into Bemprong there. It's going to be interesting to see what this call is. Like, that's a call, and you can tell me, Doug, because once again, I'm a relative neophyte. We get a timeout call. How can Bemprong do anything different there? If Royce White is sticking his rather large buttocks, he's just sticking it in there. He's initiating that contact with Bemprong.
Yeah, I think what Bemprong has to do is White is going to make that play to his right hand. White is going to make that play on the left block to the middle of the floor with his right hand. And Bemprong has to be up on White's left shoulder because that's the way he'll turn to get to that right hand. So when he's making those bumps, he can't get the turn. The foul is on the turn, not on the bumps. So if he's taking away the turn, the foul doesn't come.
All right, there you go. That's why we got the best in the biz up in the booth here at mile one. 1:31 left to go. St. John's up by 15. It will be London ball. London want to put a little bit of a run here together to get this under 10. I think, and I don't mind saying it, I don't think I'm wrong. If London gets this under 10, this is a wide open ball game going into half number two.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, really, if you remember the first time these teams played in St. John's, it was like a 17, 18-point game going into the fourth quarter. And Anderson just exploded. Absolutely. I think he hit either 6 or 7 threes in the fourth. He was coming back. He was struggling with that hip injury, and he found his touch in that fourth quarter and just lit it up. So I believe that, again, if you're a championship team, you don't care, down 15, down 17. That's all just gravy till you get to that fourth quarter.
from what we've seen here to here, really the final couple of minutes. No lead is safe here in the NBLC. Ball's kicked outside. That's going to be dribbled by Ashton. Ashton puts the ball into the hands of White. White spins off Grandy Glaze once again. That is just too easy.
And that's what I'm talking about. That turn over the left shoulder with the right hand to the middle of the floor. You've got to be up and make him go to his left.
Well, we haven't seen too much yet, and just having a check at the stats, Royce White leading London with 13 points. Haven't seen St. John's double team him that much down the paint.
No, you're ahead. You're ahead, and you want to guard one-on-one because, again, you don't want to let them get loose from the three-point line. You can give up a lot of twos before they add up, but you give up 2 or 3 threes, and that adds up in a hurry.
There you go. Johnson outside for Hinkle now. Hinkle, 15 on the shot clock, puts it over for 4. Grandy Glaze is screaming for the ball. He wants it underneath. Glaze kicks it out for Johnson. Johnson through the lane, and Alex Johnson, Superman, just cruises through the lane there and lays a floater through the hoop. Ball kicked outside for White. White, shot clock to 15, game clock at 17. White's going to settle it down and try for the last one here for London.
This is going to be an interesting matchup to see forward guard him, but they're going to go to Anderson with a size advantage here.
Anderson spins, fires. That one's going to draw short. Glaze with the rebound. Glaze throws one in off the hoop. Wouldn't have counted anyway, but nonetheless, St. John's a little bit slow at the gate, but they certainly turned it up a notch. Prof, your thoughts in the opening half?
Well, I think Glaze showed his quality through that whole first half. Right, Reed gets in foul trouble, and Glaze came in, showed better feet in terms of defending White, blocked some shots. He's just a great screen setter and passer. His passing was unbelievable in that first half and really set up a lot of things. The second half is going to be interesting to see what London does to try and adjust to this and figure out how they can get some buckets.
Here we go. First half in the books. St. John's 58, London 45. We'll be back for the call in a second here on St. John's Edge Basketball. Please stick with us.
your closest Mary Brown's location now. Don't miss your chance to be Edge Player for a day. The St. John's Edge would like to send out a special thank you to our major partners: St. Anthony Basketball, The Telegram, Coastal Dance Company, Nutrilon, Core Insight, and the Energy Company. Looking to get your group down to a St. John's Edge game? Be sure to check out our special group sale rates. Head on over to our Facebook page for more details or give us a call at 722-2195. Do you love St. John's Edge basketball? That's right, there's an app for that. Log on to the Apple or Android store and download the St. John's Edge app. You'll get the latest stats, news, and live streaming of all St. John's Edge games. Check it out on your phone or tablet now. Boston Pizza Water Street is looking for one lucky road to be our Boston Pizza Road of the Game. Get your friends on their feet and make as much noise as you can throughout the game. And you could be selected the Boston Pizza Water Street Road of the Game. Everyone in the row will win a pizza from Boston Pizza Water Street. It's been the hottest ticket in town all season long, and NBL Canada playoff action is just around the corner. The St. John's Edge are in the playoffs, and we want to continue to show the rest of the league how proud and passionate Edge fans are about their team. Tickets for the playoffs are on sale now. Call the Mile Center box office at 576-7657 to get your tickets before they're gone. It's what everyone has been waiting for. St. John's Edge basketballs are here. Go to Edgeware on the concourse behind Section 105 or down on the floor of the arena and get your official St. John's Edge basketballs. The balls are great for autographs as well as playing in your favorite court. There is a very limited supply, so get your Edge basketball before they're gone.
We have now taken a little
Second half underway. Big night here at mile 1 for the St. John's Edge, trying to climb into the lead of their division. Right now, London Lightning have a half game lead on the Edge. Ryan Reed's going to step off the bench, and he'll get things started on the right side for St. John's here in this second half. 60-45 in favor of the Edge, but no lead is safe, Doug, against this London Lightning squad.
No, they have the firepower and ability to really make quick runs.
Here come the Lightning into the paint. That's a tough shot. Defended pretty well by Johnson. Johnson was moving, though, so he'll get charged for the hack. I never saw his hands move, but it was still a foul.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact as hearing went up. And like we said, the refs have been very, very consistent. If you drive into the defense is moving in the key. They're calling that a foul on the defense, and they've done that for the whole game.
So,
while we do have a stop, I want to send a shout out to Section 118 and 31 young women from grade 7, 8, and 9 from Brother Rice, rocking the burgundy and gold over there and representing one of the great basketball traditions in the province.
Absolutely. My old alma mater is Celtics. Back when I fell in love with basketball in high school, the glory days, Brother Rice Celtics. And the great teams. Gary Dowden working with the Edge down there, one of the members of those great teams. So absolutely, girls, great to see him out here. And one thing the St. John's Edge corporate staff have done a great job at, we're always seeing teams of kids in the stands, and they get excited, and you know something, every kid comes down, there's a mom and dad not that far behind. So yeah, real good job overall. Johnson, inbounds pass to a wide open Reed under the basket. Reed missed the first one, puts back the second, and the London Lightning got to be shaking their heads at that one there.
Yeah, Reed's a pretty big guy to turn invisible for a few seconds.
Williamson puts it into the hands of White. White kicks it outside. Herring Jr. Nice stroke there from the outside for 3.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that the Edge have to be aware of. Herring Jr. and Mo Bolden are both very good three-point shooters that had very cold first halves, and they could heat up here in the second.
Here's Reed, fadeaway jumper, can't get it to drop. Rebounded by Royce White. White puts the ball into the hands of Ryan Anderson. Anderson pulls one up from about 20 feet out, and he'll get that one to drop. And right away, a little bit of a run here by London to open up this second half. Here's Johnson. Johnson puts one into the hands of Hinkle. Hinkle comes around, contested right away. Ball goes in for Reed. And we got a foul called away from the ball here.
No, they're going to get Royce White reaching over the back of Reed on that catch. And White, again, is one of those guys that thinks he never fouls anybody, but that was pretty easy.
That's White's second foul of this contest. He's far from in trouble. If he picks up number 3 early, it could be interesting, though. English can't get that shot to block, to drop. And here come the Lightning. Anderson from outside for 3. Anderson can't get it to go, but Mo Bolden just comes right on in, and Coach Jeff Dunlop says, boys, that's enough of that.
Yeah, we saw this last game, too. He was a little quicker on the draw for the timeout last game. I think it was like 30 seconds into the quarter. He made his point, but I think he's going to make his point here now that this game is not over. It's an ongoing affair, and you have to stay focused.
What is it with the Edge and the starts of passing games? Like, consistently.
Yeah. I think they just have to, like I said, they feel their way through it kind of a little bit, and then some of it is that whole issue of not having played together for a long period of time, so they don't have that chemistry that allows them to get on a roll right out of the locker room. They need to kind of see what's going on, where are the openings, where do we get our shots. They're still feeling one another out in that way.
62-53, we'll be right back. Edge lead. So just under 10 minutes left to go. Second half underway. The Edge up 62-53 to London Lightning, having a good start to this second half, though, for them.
Yeah, if you're an Edge fan, you'd like to see them get some movement here and get a nice look at the net, preferably a bucket.
Rich Belarus checking in with us again on Twitter. He said, the only thing about this game for the London fans was Aerosmith's Run DMC version of Walk This Way playing before the half started. Maybe that's what got the Lightning fired up, Rich. Does the Lightning look a little better starting off here, but they certainly got a ways to go. Here's a good drive to the basket there. Battle in the paint hard, and that is great effort there by Garrett Williamson of London.
Yeah, he had a size mismatch in the key against Johnson, and he really took advantage of it, attacking the rim hard, and then got back on the glass for the rebound and got undercut a little bit.
So to the line goes Williamson.
And here,
go ahead, Doug.
I was going to say, here comes the look that I thought we might see here. Now Glaze will come in to play the 5. I thought that they were going to put Ford out there as their big, but Glaze is checking in as well.
Nothing wrong with Randy Glaze as your big man down low. A fierce competitor. There's a shot from the line. The and one will fall. St. John's now bring the ball up the floor with Alex Johnson. Here comes Johnson. Johnson puts the ball into the hands of Glaze. Glaze backing for Johnson. That's a different look. There's a big block there by Williamson. Stolen by Anderson. English is going to foul there. And that prevented an easy bucket. But London coming out on fire here.
Yeah, and then they're using their size advantage defensively. So, I mean, it was a great play with Johnson slipping into key and Glaze finding him. But unfortunately, Johnson not big enough to get the shot up over Williamson.
St. John's thought they had a steal there. They thought the ball went off Anderson. The official says no such thing. Ball inbounded again. Royce White is going to take it for London. White on the outside. Here's a mismatch on Johnson, and Johnson takes the charge. And I don't think I've seen a foul call against Royce White yet this year that he actually agreed with.
No, I don't think he realized how Johnson had moved into his path there, and he tried for a little power hop or NBA hop over top of him, but he made too much contact with Johnson.
He just couldn't get out of the way there. Royce couldn't avoid that. So Johnson comes up the floor. English guarded aggressively by Williamson. Williamson pretty much just tackled him on that play. Ball kicked down low for Glaze. Outside for English. English back for Glaze to the outside. Glaze drives it to the middle. Shot clock under 5. Ball is turned over, and there's a foul on Johnson. And we see that time and time again, Doug, on a turnover when the other team's off to the races. Are you surprised we don't see more flagrants there?
Well, this is one of my pet peeves. I think they should go to the FIBA rule where if you foul in a non-basketball manner in transition, it's 2 in the ball. Again, fans don't pay to see fouls. They pay to see open court basketball.
Especially 60 feet from the basket like that, or 100 feet from the basket in that case.
Yeah.
London on a roll here, got the lead cut to 4 now. St. John's need to get something going the offensive side. Alex Johnson, nice drive to the lane. Follow up there by who else? Xavier Ford.
And Ford's really good at that. He's good at following the guard down the lane. The guard drives, not necessarily to score, but to collapse the defense. And Ford comes right in behind him to clean up the misses.
Herring Jr. puts the ball into the hands of White. White isolates now on Glaze. Glaze doing a pretty good job on defense there, and that's a big touch there. Looked to be Williamson coming in, getting the touch, and getting that ball to drop for the Lightning.
Yeah, Williamson has started this half really aggressively and is making a lot of plays here with steals and scores and plays around the rim to get the Lightning back in the game.
Another miss by the edge, and back the other way. Foul is called on Bolden. That one's going to go against Ford. London going to go to the line. Opportunity to bring this back to within 2. We knew London were going to make a run, but didn't think it'd be this early.
Yeah, no, and the Edge just don't look tight offensively. They're really disturbed by the Lightning's length. They're not able to. The first half they did a good job of hitting some threes and kind of spreading out the floor and creating some creases to attack in. Now the Lightning look much more cohesive defensively. Their defensive spacing is better. They're collapsing around the ball more, and the Edge just can't find the gaps to get the shots off.
Mo Bolden, a pretty good three-point shooter for a big man, but a little be desired on that first free throw offering. That one draws short. St. John's fans letting him know, and he makes good on the second one. And the lead now at 3 for the Edge. Karan Williams checking into the game now. He's going to carry the ball down the floor for St. John's. English got Williamson in the air, and English with a good quick move there. And you can tell the elite players, Doug, the Englishes and the Royce Whites, when they decide to make that quick move, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, and it's the change of pace, too. It's the first dribble to get into open space, but instead of going straight to the rim, that little pause makes you think he's going to pass, and that opens up the lane to get right to the rim.
Williams fouls White. White puts his hands around Williams as if to say, I got you, big guy, I understand.
Yeah, Williams has 4 fouls now, and he's trying to tell Coach Dunlap, I'm good, I'm good. He's got his hands up saying, look, don't worry about me. I don't need to come out. But he's going to come out. You can't afford a ticky-tack foul somewhere that you don't control, putting you 1 foul away from being out of the game.
So Jaron Skeet will check in for the first time in the evening. Skeet, a local favorite here at Mile 1. And we'll hear the Skeet chant, no doubt, if he should stroke one through the hoop.
Yeah, and he's had some really good games. I mean, it's a bit of a luxury to have a third guard that can come in and make some threes and make some plays.
A miss from the line, rebounded by Anderson, and they're going to go right back to the line again. Offensive rebound off the missed free throw.
Yeah, Ford grabbed the board but then held the ball out in front of him down by his hip and got stripped. And the fouls are really starting to add up now. Ford's got 3, I think. Like, there's a lot of problems going on here. They could really get in some serious foul trouble. Williams has 4. Reed has 4. Glaze has 2 or 3. Like, they got to be careful here because they could wind up with a lot of guys watching instead of playing.
And Doug, we're still got 7 minutes to play in this third quarter, and
they're in
London's
bonus.
in the bonus already.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's been the one difficulty for St. John's in this game is they've fouled a little bit too much.
Skeet now will bring the ball up the floor for St. John's. Skeet puts the ball into the hands of Des Lee. Lee back for English, now in for Ford. Ford's going to put it to the floor, challenging Bolden. Ford going to be called, and that will be a travel against Xavier Ford, and another turnover by the Edge. 3-point ball game, 66-63, St. John's over London. London. Battle for first place here at Mile 1. And so far in this third quarter, it's been all London Lightning. My goodness, right down Main Street goes Herring Jr. And I don't know if when Moses parted the Dead Sea, if it opened up any better than that. That was just too easy.
Yeah,
Glaze.
That was poor play between Glaze and Skeet, just very little communication. They wound up screening one another, trying to switch back. They should have probably just stayed with the initial switch.
Glaze comes back the other way, makes a good effort. Ball goes out of bounds. It will still be St. John's ball. English on the inbounds now. English out to Skeet. Skeet puts it into the hands of Glaze. Glaze looking to penetrate. No room at the end there. Ball into the hands of Skeet. Outside now for Ford. Ford into Ryan Reed. Reed's going to try a jumper. Get that one a shot. That's a little bit outside his range, you might think, but not a problem there for Reed. Williamson taking it to the hoop. Williamson, tough shot there. English all over him. And London are showing folks why they are the defending league champions. They bent, but they certainly haven't broken. And putting on a good show here in the third quarter. Ball out of bounds for Glaze. Glaze almost had a feed of nachos on the sideline there. Went in. There's a nice bucket there by Ryan Reed, and they come back. Good basket there by the Edge.
And Royce White had a chance to step over and contest that layup, but chose not to. Maybe a little bit worried about picking up another foul.
Herring Jr. out for White. Nice pass back to Herring Jr. And that's the third wide open, uncontested layup we've seen in this third quarter by London.
Yeah, St. John's does not have the same pep in their step defensively they had in the first half. They're not closing down the lanes. The defensive thing has shifted in terms of who's playing the better D. London is definitely the better defensive team right now.
1-point ball game. London now back to the offense. Chance for them to take the lead since the early minutes of the opening quarter play. Royce White being left all alone at the foul line. He's going to kick it for Bolden. Bolden once again, the penetration just too easy. Our friend Rich Belarus must be happy with this turn of events, because it seems like London are just coming down Main Street whenever they want.
Yeah. And again, it's the foul trouble problem. Like, again, Reed had the opportunity to step in and take a charge, but worried about picking up another foul. He does not. And they're giving up layups here because people are not getting to the right spots defensively, worried about picking up fouls.
Here's English now. English guarded by Williamson. Williamson's done a great job on English. Outside for Reed. And Reed gets a couple of foul back-to-back for St. John's, and that might be just what the doctor had ordered. Some secondary scoring here for the Edge. And here we go once again. A wide open layup, uncontested for London. I tell you what, Doug, I don't know what's going on. What are your thoughts?
Well, the defensive effort is not there. That time it was Ford not making any effort to get back the floor. So, you know, it becomes infectious. Like, if people don't play hard, then the reverse. If you play hard, then everybody starts playing hard. If someone starts loafing, everybody can start loafing. So right now, there's been an infection of a lack of effort on the defensive end in terms of the Edge.
You're bang on, too, on the offensive side. The Edge should be attacking Royce White. You can just see it on that basket then. He really don't want to challenge defensively. He's like a lame duck in there. Don't want to pick up the extra foul. Here's Ford. Ford's going to drive the lane. That's a tough shot, and that's great defense there by Herring Jr. Herring Jr. starts it the other way. Williamson for Herring Jr. Back, lays it off the glass. And not much the Edge can do on that one. A 3-point lead now for the London Lightning. Blaze all open under the basket. And this is just wide open here. I don't know if anybody knows how to spell defense right now, Doug.
No, it's up and down the floor right now.
Long 3-point shot there by Herring Jr. The best workout in the building tonight is the guy pushing the buttons on the score clock. Skeet moves it over for Reed. Reed puts the ball to the floor now to English. English guarded by Williamson. English spins off, double team right away. English stops, settles things down. English battles, drives through. Guarded by Bolden, and Xavier Ford rocks the rim once again for the St. John's Edge. Kicked outside. Ashton for 3. Once again, London answer back right away. That's Kyle Johnson stepping up with a big 3 ball there. And Doug, that is what championship teams do.
Yeah, it's just not like now that, like, Ford gets that huge dunk and throws it down, and he goes back kind of celebrating and gesticulating. Meanwhile, nobody's really picking anybody up, so Smith gets a wide open look. The defensive effort here, I mean, this is 40 points now for the Lightning in this quarter. You're not going to win a lot of games doing that.
Gesticulating. Wow.
Big word.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Here's Johnson. Johnson for Hinkle. Hinkle and Johnson back in the game now. First time for Hinkle. A little bit of energy for Coach Dunlop trying to get into the game. We got Reed tangled up with the London player, and the foul is going to go against Reed. And the Bluebirds are going to come out of mile 1 on that one. Ryan Reed is incensed.
Yeah, he was being held. He was being held. And here's what I think happened. He was being held. The official called the foul, fully intending to call the hold. Reed then made a fuss about what happened rather than just stopping. And I think the official changed his call. Rather than tagging Reed with a T, he put the foul on Reed and got him out of the game. So, you know, sometimes you just got to just take what happens to you.
There you go, as we say all the time, whether we agree or not, those men with the red stripes on their shirt, they are in charge. They have the whistles, and what they say goes. Here's Williams now. 83-78, London with a 5-point lead, 1:20 left in this third quarter. It's been all Lightning. Here's Hinkle for 3, can't get it to drop. Rebounded by Anderson. He'll pull it down. Anderson for Williams Jr. Back outside for Anderson. Anderson for 3, Ellenson. Hand in his face, couldn't get it there, and Ryan Anderson puts it down. And I gotta say it, Doug, and I'm an Edge fan, obviously, but right now London are just toying with St. John's.
Yeah, they've dominated this quarter in a way that you would not have expected things to go.
Bemprong for Hinkle to Johnson, wide open to the corner. Johnson can't get that shot to block. Ellenson battles hard, but he's going to commit the foul. And
no, they're going to get Anderson.
Anderson will be called with the foul. Well,
yeah, I don't know about that one either. I mean, again, I'm an edge announcer, but I thought that was Ellenson's foul. He was riding Anderson through the whole thing, but you know, the official has been nothing if not difficult to guess.
One goes the home team's way on that one. Johanni D'Alembert going to check into the game. First time we've seen D'Alembert tonight. And the luxury of the lead showing for the London side now, Doug.
Yes, and like we said, they've played with the energy this quarter and dominated this quarter, and the lead is well earned.
Johnson for Williams. St. John's going with the 2-point guard look again. Haven't seen it a whole lot here tonight. Big battle down low in D'Alembert and Bemprong. Williams battles through. Around for Ellenson to the outside. Ellenson wide open, can't get it to drop though. Rebound falls into the hands of Bemprong. Back for Williams, Karam Williams. Puts the ball to the floor for Ellenson. Ellenson way outside for three, got a wide open look. Couldn't get it to drop though. 16 seconds remain. And it'll be London ball up by 8 points. Yes, folks, if you were just joining us after this first half, the London Lightning are now up by 8, courtesy of a 41-point third quarter. Capers. 10 seconds left now. Playing for the final shot will be the Lightning. Marcus Capers over for Anderson. Anderson could shoot it from out there. He could shoot from anywhere. Anderson steps back, open, gets it, can't get it to drop though. And that is a quarter the Edge will want to forget real quick. 8-point ball game, still anybody's games here, Prof. Heading into the fourth quarter. St. John's trail by 8, 86-78, London Lightning. So fourth quarter just about ready to start, and we'll tee it up for you. A 21-point swing into third quarter, courtesy of the London Lightning. So, Prof, what's got to happen here for the Edge? How do we get this train back on the tracks?
Well, the first thing the Edge have to do is play D. They flew around the whole first half and really rotated and played well. There was no rotation. There was no help. There was no energy defensively in that third quarter. Garrett Williamson really, not necessarily always scoring the ball, but he created a lot of matchup problems. He blocked shots. He stole the ball. He got on the glass. He did a lot of effort things to turn that game around in the third quarter for the Lightning.
Ball out of bounds. That will be a turnover for St. John's. They'll pick the ball up, come back down the floor. Good defense there by Des Lee.
Yeah, Desmond, don't call me Carlos Lee, really turned it on there. And he didn't play a lot in the third. So I think he was trying to make a statement there. He's a guy that can really help them in terms of their overall defensive effort.
Lee with the ball now. London certainly picking up a notch defensively. Here's a long three by Williams. Can't get that one to drop. Rebounded by Ryan Anderson. Anderson brings it back down the floor for London. Anderson now guarded by Lee on the outside. Anderson looking for a little mismatch. They're really trying to go to Anderson here, Doug.
Yeah, and Lee is playing with a lot of energy. He almost had another steal there. He'll get called for the foul, but I really like the way he's attacking Anderson defensively. The other thing is it's a make or miss game. Like in the first half, the Edge made some threes. The Lightning didn't make hardly any. Second half, the Lightning threes are dropping. The Edge cannot get one to go down.
Capers drives the hoop. There's some great defense there by Charles Hinkle. Ball put in for Lee. Lee lost the handle on it. Would have had a wide open drive. Couldn't get it to hold on. Going to be kicked out for Williams instead. Williams can't get it to drop. And that's a wide open shot. And right to your point, Doug.
Yeah. And that's sometimes you just have to weather these situations to try and hang in there. See if you can get enough stops and eventually hope the shots go down.
There's a steal by Anderson. Great read there defensively by Ryan Anderson. Almost a comedy of errors here to start off this fourth quarter. Hard foul on Carl English by Johanny D'Alembert. And Johanny got a little bit of a sly smile on his face after that one. And you got to think he certainly doesn't mind there. He'll check out. Royce White will come back into the game for London. 8-point lead. Actually, I don't know if anybody scored to start.
No, it's not so far in this quarter. No,
it's a minute and 30.
Yeah, I think both teams are trying to get their feet back on the ground defensively and do the right things at that end of the floor. And the Edge have had the better looks, but like we said, none of them have gone down.
Ben Prong into the game now for St. John's. Ben Prong puts the ball down. Thought Carl should have zigged when he zagged. Ball goes out of bounds, and once again, there's more turnovers here tonight than the Pillsbury factory. Here in this fourth quarter, 10:22 left. Let's see who's going to score a bucket. 2 minutes in. Capers puts it into the hands of Royce White. White, nice pass in for Anderson there. Anderson can't get it to drop, though. And my goodness, do they have saran wrap on these rims? What's going on? Des Lee comes down. He is rejected in a big way by Kirk Williams Jr., but the body was on the foul, and maybe we'll see a shot from the foul line, maybe dent the twine. I sort of like that, Doug. I know the foul is there. It's a good call by the official. You got him with the body. But I still like that emphatic block at the end of it, as if to say, get that out of here.
Well, and also you don't want a three-point play. There have been a fair amount of contact, and I think Williams Jr. probably knew the foul call was coming, so he wants to make sure that it's not a three-point play.
Rich Belarus checking in with us again, commenting on it. Seems like the Edge defense picked up the habits from London. And Rich making a comment about the officials. No hometown officials. Actually, I believe there is one, isn't there?
Yeah, Langford is a Newfoundland official, the smaller guy who's on the baseline now.
But we have two referees from, I'm not sure where they're from. It doesn't matter where they're from. Referees, people ask me, what color are referees? They're all the same. They're zebras. It doesn't matter. That thing about hometown and homers and that, I don't buy into that thing myself. I'm a bit of a hard case when it comes to referees. I say, no, ref, don't ever consider conspiracy theory when stupidity will suffice. I know it's a little tough, but hey, that's my line. I'm not going to change it. Williams Jr. grabs that rebound, puts the ball into the hands of Kyle Johnson. Johnson puts it over for White. White playing a little keep away here. White called for a 5-second violation.
That's one you don't see very often in the pro game. There's not a lot of 5-second calls in the pro game, but he did hold the ball for a long time.
Yeah, you know something? Winners are not a calls a lot, and maybe they give him a little bit of latitude, but 5 don't turn into 10, and that was a long time.
Yeah.
Williams back down the floor. And it's quite amazing after a 61-point third quarter between both teams. We're 3 minutes in, and that's just been the second basket made.
And both baskets by the Edge, so they're creeping back into the game.
Edge cut the lead to 3. Royce White now handling the ball up top. Here's a different look offensively for London indeed. There's players going down everywhere, and there are all kinds of contact down low. English grabs that rebound. Referees whistles in the pocket, and both teams going hard. Here's Des Lee. He's wide open for 3. Lee can't get it to drop, though. Big rebound there by Anderson. Anderson throws that one away, though.
Yeah, it's a great play by Williams. Williams made sure that he got back just a little deeper than the other Williams. And by that, when the pass was thrown long, Kirk Williams Jr. couldn't get to the ball. He ran over top of
without going through.
Karan.
Right.
Yeah.
So, 3-point ball game, and folks, I tell you what, buckle in. This one's going to be a dandy. There's going to be some turbulence here at mile 1 tonight, indeed. We got a foul away from the ball.
Veteran play by Carl English. He's got the floppy set there. He runs into then steps in front of the defender and stops, and the defender runs into him. Contacts the foul.
Williamson picks up his 3. So looking at the foul situation, we got Williams Jr. and White with 4. Williamson with 3. For London, there's a shot's going to fall short. On the edge side of the ball, Ryan Reed with 5. Karan Williams with 4. Xavier Ford and Ramsford Brempong with 3 each. And there's the first score of this fourth quarter for the Lightning, a big 3-point shot. Karan Williams brings the ball down the floor. White got lucky there, reached in. That could have been number 5. Ryan Reed under him. White got lucky again.
Yeah, I'm surprised that way. I thought that there was some contact there on the layup.
Nonetheless, Ryan Reed sticks with it, and he scores from underneath the bucket. Back to a 4-point game. Here's White. White challenging Reed. White's going to lay that one up gracefully off the basket, and that one goes in. Williams. Karan Williams bringing the ball down the floor for St. John's. Williams to the outside for Hinkle. Hinkle drives through the lane. He'll have an easy layup, and I was just about to say, Doug, I'm surprised Charles didn't put that one up. That's the type of shot we normally see him take.
Yeah, but he's missed a few, and I think he wanted to get the feel of the ball through the bucket there, get some confidence.
Williamson now picks up the dribble for London. Williamson, guarded by English, kicks one to the outside. That's a nice pass there. Tough shot there off the basket by Johnson. Looking for the foul call, didn't get it. Ball kicked outside. Here's Hinkle wide open for 3 in the corner. And that was money in the bank as soon as it left his hand. Charles Hinkle starting to look smoother than a seal caught in an ice floe. 6:35 left to go. It's a 1-point ball game all of a sudden here at mile 1.
Yeah, the defense has swung back again. The Edge are getting into the passing lanes. They're being more disruptive. They're moving their feet better. So and now it's the Lightning who are a little bit back on their heels, not finding the easy shots that they found in the third quarter.
Lightning back to their starters on the floor here now, and they sense, listen, there's no doubt about it, and there's a foul. That's an easy foul call there. Lucky Williams there. He might have got tagged for flagrant on that one. That foul will be against Williams. That's his 5th of the game. So St. John's certainly walking that fine line with fouls. Still 6:24 left to go. Williams going to stay in the game.
So Williams has 5 and Reed has 5.
So now we're going to see Johnson check in. I figured that was coming, Coach. Missed foul shot from the line by Herring Jr. And Williams once again pleading with the coaching staff. Probably singing them John Fogerty's song down there. Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. But there's no center field for Williams tonight as we see Alex Johnson check back in for Karan. And I'm with Coach Dunlap there, Prof. I think that's a good move. He's got to come out with this much time left.
Yeah, the game is still close. You know, Johnson's been solid. I think you saved Williams for the stretch run. Johnson
puts the ball into the hands of Hinkle. Hinkle drags 2 defenders up top, down for Johnson. Johnson penetrates through the lane, and Alex Johnson with the penetration there, and that's one thing we've seen Superman do quite well for St. John's all season long. All tied up here at 92. Ball kicked to the outside now. Royce back on the inside. Royce tries to push off on Reed. Reed does his very best to defend him there. Just couldn't stop White coming down low. White talking to the official, looking for a foul call. Again, I tell you what, there's no denying the talent of Royce White, but to coin a Newfoundland term, he sucks a lot. Here's Ford. Ford, pass inside now for Hinkle. Hinkle pulls up for the three-point shot. Can't get that one to drop. Good little touch on that by White. Puts it into the hands of Anderson. Ball going to be carried up the floor now by Doug Herring Jr. White at the top of the key. Guarded by Des Lee now. Ball kicked to the corner for Anderson. Wide open for three.
Yeah,
that's a big shot there.
That was unnecessary by Lee. He just needed to stay with his man. White is not a great shooter, and he didn't need to jump off his man there and force Reed to try and find him in the corner, especially a shooter of the caliber of Anderson.
Foul away from the ball there. Des Lee seemed to take a shot. We're going to have a timeout called by the St. John's Edge. 5-point ball game, 4:55 left to go. St. John's trail by 5. We'll be right back.
So, the lucky winner of tonight's 50/50 purchase ticket number 78826. And the jackpot is $4,718. Congratulations! Please take your ticket to Edgeware, where a representative will be waiting with your winnings. The Edge Foundation thanks you for your support. All right, fans. Who wants to be announced to the Black Chocolate Company fan of the game?
All right, here we go. We're back, 97-92. London Lightning over to St. John's Edge. Battle for first place here tonight at Mile 1. And a very, very entertaining contest for those people in the stands here tonight. Hope you're enjoying our coverage online, wherever you may be watching. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter at StevePowerNL. Ball inbounded for Hinkle. Hinkle gets it outside for English. English looking to penetrate. Good defense down low. Foul going to be called, though, on Bolden. Bolden don't like that one. That will be his second of the contest. English lost the dribble momentarily. Bolden a little too aggressive trying to get it back.
Yeah.
Inbound now by St. John's. 14 seconds on the shot clock reset. Ball's going to be put into the hands of Johnson. Johnson for Hinkle. Hinkle into the key. Kicks one outside for Ford. Ford to Reed. Reed with a little baby hook into paint. He gets the foul, and he'll get a trip to the free throw line. That's pretty good movement there by St. John's.
Yeah, Ford looked like he was going to get caught behind the backboard without a lot to do, but he was able to squeeze one in there, a little underhanded pass to Reed for a shot at the goal.
Ryan Reed at the line for the Edge. Reed with 14 points on the game so far. Chance for him to tie the lead with Xavier Ford. And got to talk a little bit about the defense of London tonight. I know at times it was a little extinct, but overall, I tell you what, they've done a pretty good job on Carl English.
They have. They've done a good job on English. They've left some other people open and got away with it in the third quarter and especially in the fourth. At the start there, they got away with leaving some people wide open at three, but on English, they've been very good.
So if you're coaching against this St. John's team and everybody knows what Carl did here last week, isn't that a strategy? Like, hey, guys, he's not going to beat us. If you're going to beat us, make it be someone else.
Yeah, you got to make Carl beat you off the dribble. You got to make Carl score off the bounce and get twos, no threes. And I think they've done a pretty good job of that. He's got one three-point shot. 8 shots total. So they've, Williamson's done a fantastic job on him really throughout the whole second half.
Randy Glaze going to check into the game here for Ryan Reed. Reed, some quality minutes there, playing with 5 fouls.
Yeah.
Ball at the half court, going to be inbounded by Anderson. London will take the ball. 5-point ball game here. London going to be the first to have a crack at breaking the 100-point plateau here tonight. Herring Jr. kicks it to the outside for Bolden. Bolden lost it momentarily. Ball turned over, and that will be a turnover for the Edge. Good defense there. And Grandy Glaze making an impact coming off the bench.
This has been a good game for Glaze. I thought he could have got a few minutes more here in the second half, but he's done a lot of good things.
Alex Johnson now bringing the ball up the floor. Hinkle pops out. Hinkle, not enough room for the 3, and as much as the defense has been a little shoddy at times tonight for London, I tell you what, I think Garrett Williamson has been outstanding defensively. Here's Anderson. Anderson out for Bolden. Bolden had an open look there, didn't want to put it up. Williamson back for Bolden. Bolden feigned a 3-point attempt, goes for Royce White instead. Weiss, triple team, he's going to kick it out for Williamson. Williamson couldn't get it to drop. Glaze can't grab the rebound. Chance for St. John's, and it'll go back to St. John's. London pleading with the officials, saying it went off an Edge player, but that will indeed come back to the St. John's Edge.
I thought it was a good call. I thought that it bounced off of Glaze's body but then hit a Lightning player before it went out of bounds.
So here's the beauty of this. As we're talking to you, I can look at the game tape delayed on the screen, so I'm going to tell you if it's a good call or not now in a second. St. John's bring the ball down the floor. Johnson gets a big shot there. Johnson not been on fire shooting tonight, but that's a big shot there for St. John's. And Trudy Word, it was a good call by the referees. It was out off London. So, all tied up at Gretzky's here at mile 1 center. Anderson throws it to the outside, and I guess I put the broadcaster's curse on London, saying they'd have the crack at breaking 100. Now it'll be St. John's turn. Timeout. Called here. A lot of discussion going on with the official on the London side of things. Not sure who's called a timeout. We got sweepers on the floor. We got referees on the floor. We got both teams on the floor. I still don't know what's going on here, Doug. Do you?
I think London took a timeout.
So, it is indeed timeout London. Wayne Gretzky's all over the board here. 2:45 left to play. We'll be right back. So, folks, if you are in the building, you better check the mile 1 seat through a seatbelt, because it's going to be a dandy finish here tonight. Stick with us online. Steve Power, Doug Partridge bringing you this one, and this one has been a pleasure to call here tonight. Alex Johnson going to bring the ball up the floor for the Edge. Johnson spins around. There's a hard shot for English.
Yeah, if you don't switch that screen, Johnson is so good on the pull-up jump shot. He's so tough. And if you don't switch that, you're giving him a really good look.
So good opening there. Johnson gets it to foul, but more interesting is how English is feeling after he just got drilled to the floor. We're going to have a foul call here against Reed, and that's going to do it for Ryan Reed.
No, that's
Sorry.
Glandy Glaze.
Glandy Glaze,
who was into him, trying to get into Royce White and give him nothing here with a 2-point lead, but he was a little maybe over-aggressive on that, but you don't mind that because you're not in bonus yet.
St. John's with a foul left to give. London will be in the bonus on their next one. Good drive to the basket there by Herring Jr. Makes that pretty routine. All tied up here at 101. Johnson down the floor, kicks it over for English. English going to put it back in the hands of Johnson. Johnson running a screen here, trying to find Hinkle. Hinkle and English pop out. Johnson don't go in his hands. Johnson gets fouled, driving to the hoop, and Johnson once again, great job on the penetration move.
Yeah, Hinkle wanted the ball, then English wanted the ball, but I think Johnson felt like he had a matchup up top that he could take.
Hinkle wants it, English wants it. Alex said, I'll just take it myself there, guys. I got this. Going to the line. Johnson, chance to take the lead again for St. John's. Johnson misses the first from the charity stripe. Ball going to be put back. He'll reset and try to put St. John's in the lead from the line. He will do so. 1 from 2 from the line. Under 2 minutes left. Both teams going hard, and this is not a gimme game on a Saturday night. You never say two teams got their tickets punched. This one has got a playoff feel to it here at mile 1. Bolden drives the rim. Bolden is fouled. English doesn't like that call, but that is a foul. Bolden will get a go to the line. And Doug, do you agree with that statement? This has had a playoff feel to it all night long.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The intensity has been really good from both teams. They're both sensing the moment. And they're going to take Johnson out here for Williams.
And we expected that. Although Johnson played very, very well.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen them go small and try Ford out on White. I know White would have tried to post him up, but I think he has the athleticism and length advantage there, and I think it would have been an interesting matchup offensively to have both of your guards out there.
Free throws gonna be essential down the stretch. Here now we see Bolden hit 2 for London. Williams on the outside. Hinkle is just molested down low there by Williams Jr. Shot for English. That one's going to drop short. Rebounded by Bolden. The big man going to take it all the way down the floor himself. To the outside for Anderson. Anderson in some trouble. Kicks it over for White. Good move there to get it to the big man. Ball to the outside now for Herring Jr. Herring Jr. Kicks it outside for Bolden. Bolden is wide open for 3. Can't get it to drop though. Rebounded by Williams.
Yeah,
Williams.
great box out by Williams.
Williams pushes the pace for Hinkle for 3. Charles Hinkle hoops Hinkle with a big 3-point play, and that's going to bring the mile 1 faithful to their feet. Timeout. London, St. John's 105, London 103.
Coach Keith Vassell is incensed. He is not happy at all about Hinkle being wide open for that shot. And how many times have we seen Hinkle do that at the end of games, just slip into that open area? And like we said all game, they've done a great job getting underneath Carl and making him miss shots, but they've left Hinkle open, they've left Williams open, they've left Johnson open, and eventually that comes back. It may not bite you over the course of 48 minutes, but it definitely bites you in the last 2.
And you can just see that coming. Carl probably could have took that shot too. Carl was relatively open. We've certainly seen him make shots heavier contested, but Charles was wide open in the corner, and the whole bench before Charles set to shoot, the bench was on their feet. Everyone knew what was coming.
Yeah.
So
I mean, now London has the ball. They're going to come down the floor, and I think you probably see some kind of 2-man game with Anderson and White. They may just give White the clear out, but I would assume maybe a 2-man game. Try and set Williamson up where he can be a cutter to the rim.
Hinkle, Lee, Reed, Ford, and Johnson into the game. Charles Hinkle with the dagger there, and this is a big understatement to say this is a pretty big defensive set for St. John's.
Yeah, and English is going to get not one of the better defenders, so they're going to give him this possession off, try and go offense, defense.
Ball into the hands of White. White posts up on Reed. White, little separation. Reed, tough defense there. Great job by Reed. We got a jump ball call by the officials. Thought there might have been some contact there.
Yeah, I really think there was a foul there on Ford before we got to the jump ball situation, and it's going to be a jump ball, so it's going to be ball possession to the edge. But there was a lot of contact there on Ford.
So at the end of the day, the Edge do get the ball back, and as big as that last defensive possession was, it don't get any smaller on this one.
No, now you got the Edge able to take a timeout with 35 seconds left, and I think if you're the Lightning, you don't need to foul, you just need to stop, and you'll have a chance to win the game or tie the game on the last possession. If you're the Edge now, you're looking, you can put a dagger here. You're looking for something good. You know, you're probably running your screen actions. Maybe what we haven't seen a lot of this game is that little side pick and roll between English and Hinkle that seems to get Hinkle open a lot. So it'll be interesting to see whether we see that maybe in this action, or will we just see a screening action for English and Hinkle, maybe a floppy set with English getting the floppy look and Hinkle coming back off it on the other side.
Any difference, Doug, with this inbounds where it's a jump ball situation? The inbounds is going to be in London territory as opposed to down in the Edge territory.
Yeah, because of the timeout, I believe the ball will be advanced to the front court instead of being inbounded over the full court. I know in the NBA you can take a choice. Like a lot of times in the NBA, they're allowed to advance the ball, but they'll choose to keep it in the backcourt just to milk a little bit more clock bringing it up kind of thing. But in this case, and under these rules, the ball will be advanced to the front court.
So, big possession here, 35.4 seconds left. St. John's up by 2. And we got English and Anderson just pushing and shoving before the ball's even put into Johnson's hands on the inbound. And there's still no separation down low.
No, they were looking to put 2 people on English.
English puts the ball, and he's going to get fouled right away. And if you're a fan of the Edge, that's certainly who you want to be fouled.
It's not a smart play by Royce White. It really wasn't. I mean, and overall, I like the kind of plan of the Lightning to say, let's put 2 on English and make it go to somebody else. But unfortunately, they got all tangled up with one another. Anderson fell down. Next thing, Royce White is left guarding English. That's not going to work. So White whacks him, and now English can make a couple free throws. The one thing that works for you if you're the Lightning, even if you get down by 4 here, there's still essentially 32 seconds. That's a long time in a pro game. A lot can happen.
Big news item just coming in hot off the presses. I know folks will probably have a hard time believe it, but Royce White complained to the official after the foul call.
Ooh, and a tough second half continues for Carl as he misses that free throw. Now he wants to make this one to mean that you will have last possession, no worse than a tie game.
So English will reset for the free throw. And English gets the home team roll on that one.
Yeah, that's one of those ones like we used to say in the olden days, that's the rim, not the shooter. But, I mean, that was a tough trip. And it's been a tough second half for Carl. They've done a fantastic job of getting in underneath him and making him so his landings aren't clean. He's got to distort his body when he's shot. So he really hasn't been able to get a rhythm, and that's, I believe, the first trip to the free throw line that he had this half. So it's difficult to get a flow to your shot.
31 seconds remain. Timeout. We got a 3-point ball game. Essentially, both teams in the bonus here now. Is this something where St. John's maybe go for a foul?
No, I think it's way too early. If you foul here, You're putting them on the line. With 32, you know, it's a 1-point game. Now if you miss 1 and 2, it's a 2-point game. You don't want to be in. I think you're trying to get the stop. I think if you're London, you're again, we talked about this the last couple of games in these late game situations. You're setting up some kind of movement to try and get an open three because it gets harder and harder to get one as the game goes on. But I think what you want to try and get here is some kind of movement to get an open three. If not, let's get something going to rim, as Carl English gives a lot of instructions to his teammates about what he wants to see defensively.
So Coach Dunlap probably getting an assist from his scoring leader there.
Yeah, now Carl will stay on the floor, which I'm a little surprised about. I thought they might go offense, defense here and put someone on the floor for defensive purposes.
I tell you who I'm surprised not to see out there, Charles Hinkle.
Yeah, I am too, because he's a good defender.
All right, here we go. Ball put down to play. Herring Jr. gets a wide open layup coming through. Quick score for London.
Yeah, and that's what we say. Give them a little movement for a three, and if not, let's get right to the rim quickly. Johnson will draw the foul and go to the line. But
not much time off the clock there. All that took less
than
2 seconds.
You wanted, like, where all of the jumbled action at the top of the key and the screening and stuff for the Lightning, you wanted to jump on Herring's right hand as Johnson hits the first free throw and drive him back into that mess. Don't allow him to come over top all the way to the rim with his right.
Johnson will reset. Now here comes number 2. That one is money in the bank.
Yeah. And now the Lightning are out of timeouts. So keep playing. Like, you know, they're looking around, but it says that the Lightning have no timeouts.
Not quite sure what to make of this.
I think they had a sub waiting there. Johnson standing up.
Ah, that's what it is.
So that's what it was. They wanted their sub in. So Johnson has shot the three well tonight. Bolden has become a reluctant shooter.
So, Doug, do they reset the clock here?
Yeah, I don't think the clock ever started. Okay. I think the scores were on top of it.
Okay, ball is inbounded. Here come the Lightning. Herring Jr. He got a quit score in the last possession. On the outside, he's going to pull up for 3, and he makes a big 3-point shot. Might have been fouled. There actually no call on it.
Yeah, it's, again, in a one-possession situation, I'm not sure you want Ryan Reed out there on the floor. He doesn't have the foot speed to stay in front of people, and his natural inclination is to back off and force the jump shot. But up by 3, you can't back off and force the jump shot. You've got to force the dribble. He needed to get up on the guy and force him to the rim for the 2-point shot. But, you know, again, it's his natural inclination is to stand back.
St. John's, though, all the same here. Prof in pretty good shape. Ball in hand. 14 seconds left. Ball game.
You're going to have the last shot, and you're going to have a chance to win the game or go to overtime should be your worst possible outcome. So that's where you want to kind of get to here. So you're going to look for something. You might take a shot around the 4 or 5 second mark to give yourself a chance to win it on a tip in at the rim.
Yep. And like, is it a foregone conclusion? Is Carl getting this ball, or there's just so many weapons? I think this is a luxury of Coach Dunlap here.
Yeah, I think you're going to absolutely run something for Carl. He's your best player, but you've got to trust Carl to also see the floor and say what's out there for us. And you know, is there something better?
No doubt he will. And I tell you what, if there's a chance here for St. John's, I'm attacking Royce White with this.
Yeah, but again, you got Ford out there, and he's not a great off-the-dribble guy, but he might be good enough to do it.
Ball inbounded. Karam Williams is going to pull it down. Hold on for St. John's. 10 seconds remain. Puts the ball into the hands of Johnson. Johnson out for English. English all over him is Anderson. English puts it to the lane.
What a great take.
And the basket occurs.
Now you got to get up. You got to get up. You got to get up.
1 second remains. And for some reason, Royce White took the 85-foot shot, and he had time to put it up the floor.
Well, 1.5 seconds. He had maybe a dribble, and he was wide open. That one dribble would have carried him to the defender. So, as much as you can be open on a 75-foot shot, you know, it's a Hail Mary in this situation that he shouldn't have been even that open. You got to be right up there where he can't even take a crack at the net.
So it is the hometown hero, the Edge leading scorer, Carl English. getting the job done with a last-minute drive, last-second drive, I should say. And I tell you what, folks, the 4,000-plus fans in attendance here tonight got their money's worth indeed. Final thoughts on this one, Prop?
Well, I mean, you play percentages all game long, and the percentages tell you make English put the ball on the floor, make them go to the rim, because percentage-wise, that's going to give us an advantage. But what you have to be able to do is adjust in the moment. When you get to the last possession of a game, the percentages don't matter. It's stopping people, and you can't let Carl go to the rim quite that easily and have a layup. Someone has to step in there. You have to take away the right hand. You have to make that more of a contested shot.
So, a tandy here overall tonight at Mile 1. It is exactly what we expected between these two quality basketball clubs. Bad news is it's over. The good news is we're back again, 2 o'clock Newfoundland time tomorrow afternoon. Both these teams will go back at it again. First place once again on the line. It's tit for tat here at Mile 1. For Doug Partridge, I'm Steve Power. Thanks for joining us, folks. And tune in again tomorrow afternoon. The Edge and the Lightning will go at it again. From Mile 1